She put the risk in risque. America's talking about Miley Cyrus's performance last night at the MTV Video Music Awards, and man, it was a head shaker. Warning here, some of what you're about to see may not be appropriate for your kids, even if she did used to be a Disney star. Now, Cyrus stunned the VMAs with her raunchy performance, filled with stripping down to a near-nude outfit, grinding dance moves, even that attempt at twerking right there, gyrating with a foam finger prop while singing with Robin Thicke. No blurred lines there, folks. Cyrus seems to be doing everything she can to break out of her Hannah Montana character and prove that she's an adult. And take a look at this. Even Rihanna, who's made a career out of pushing the envelope, kind of just sits there seeming shocked, along with Drake and One Direction, kind of hanging their heads down in shock. And check out what singer Kelly Clarkson tweeted. She said, just saw a couple of performances from the VMAs last night. 2 words, #pitchy strippers. And then Cyrus's parents were even at the awards show last night. Her dad, Billy Ray Cyrus, tweeted this after her performance. Quote, thanking God for so many blessings tonight. Continue to pray for world peace, more love, less hate. Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense. It's his daughter, and she's catching a lot today. Now, Dan Isit, the Director of Public Policy for the Parents Television Council, and Amanda Marca from Slate joins us. All right, I want to get each of you one by one. What did you think of her performance? Dan, I'll start with you.
Well, I think it was unfortunate. I think you've seen a whole day's worth of reaction in terms of parents and families being outraged about what they saw, but that's really not the question. The question is who pays for this material and who forces it into virtually every living room in the country.
Okay, I want to get back to that in a second, but Amanda, what did you think?
You know, I don't think anybody's forced to watch the VMAs, and frankly, I did not think that performance was particularly risque or offensive in any way. It's like compared to anything else that you can see on HBO or on a computer or anything, it was positively tame.
Okay, now Dan, you mentioned who pays, and it's obviously MTV trying to garner attention. This is at 9 o'clock at night on cable, MTV. The VMAs are always kind of risque like this. From your perspective, what's wrong with it being on TV?
Well, the problem with this is that in order to get access to the types of things that families want to watch on TV, or any given consumer really, you're forced to buy MTV along with it, along with a great big bundle of other programming. And the problem is that you end up cross-subsidizing this type of material, like we saw last night, just to get access to the things that you may want to watch. It's not a free market decision. If the free market could work here, you might see some real changes in programming.
Yeah, but it's not as if she was nude. It's not as if she's violating any laws in all of this. And can't families just say, don't watch this or turn away? Or
Well, let's be really clear. I mean, there were about 10 million viewers last night. That means there were, roughly 300 million Americans that didn't watch this show last night. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a certain irony here to what Amanda's saying in terms of going on national television and talking about how things shouldn't be paid any attention to. That doesn't make an awful lot of sense. People do pay attention to this, and especially parents and families do, because it affects their kids directly.
Okay, so Amanda, Dan says it affects kids. Why do you say people should try not caring?
Well, I don't think it's that you shouldn't care or shouldn't pay attention necessarily. I just don't really see what all the fuss is about. I mean, it was
really though. She's gyrating on a foam finger. She's a Disney star. I can get Dan's point there. I mean, kids look up to this girl, and she's kind of prancing around like a stripper. That's not something to be worried about.
A Disney star in like 10 years. She's a 20-year-old woman who has made her career as a pop star at this point. Now, I personally think she's a terrible pop star. I think she couldn't twerk to save her life. But the notion that she's still Hannah Montana, like, her fans of Hannah Montana are all adults themselves now. I don't really see what the problem is. Like, little kids are not interested in watching MTV or any of this stuff. They just find it tedious and boring. Like, it's perfectly suited for the audience that it's meant for.
Okay, so Dan, talk about that. She mentions it's suited for this audience. That's what this audience wants to see. We all remember, let's put this up, by the way. We all remember Madonna and Britney Spears going at it and all the things Madonna's done over the years, and everybody was shocked by that. What's wrong with this?
The major problem with what Amanda's saying, of course, is that MTV rated this program as appropriate for a 14-year-old child. That is the information that parents were given as the program was airing. So is Amanda really making the case that twerking and all of this stuff is appropriate for a 14-year-old child? It was certainly marketed that way. It was certainly pitched that way by MTV. It was certainly green-lighted through rehearsals all the way through to broadcast last night. Somebody made the decision somewhere at MTV that this material was appropriate for a child. That's the discussion that we're having today, unfortunately. That's really where the issue is. You have cross-subsidy of programming, and in addition to that, all of this was mislabeled on purpose, I believe, by MTV.
Okay, Amanda, what do you think about that?
I'm really confused about what we're really afraid is going to happen here. Yes, a 14-year-old is going to see some sexy dancing. I mean, that's been going on for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years now. I mean, people were getting upset about Elvis and his supposed negative influence on the children by doing very similar kind of dance moves to what Miley Cyrus was doing, though better, I have to say. And nothing bad has happened. The notion that 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds are only going to discover sex because they see Miley Cyrus wiggling her butt on TV, I find that preposterous. Kids are interested in sex, teenage kids are interested in sex because they're interested in sex.
Dan, I'm going to give you a few seconds to get the last word.
I think it's amazing that Amanda is pretending like media doesn't have any influence on children as she produces media all day, every day.
Amanda, I got to let you respond to that. I'm sorry. I got a couple more seconds left.
I'm trying to influence people's opinions, not their hormone levels. I think those are going to kind of do their work on their own.
All right, Dan Isid, Amanda Marca, good conversation. Great having you both on. All right, folks, and our viewers, they've been passionate about Miley today. Via Facebook, Faith said, "Dear Miley, there were at least 4 things missing from your VMA performance: talent, dignity, grace, and self-respect." And Christy says, "The mom in me wanted to smack the crap out of her, take away all our electronic devices, and bring that baby to church. Lord Jesus." All right. And Joshua sent this. "Great PR stunt. Look at all the press she's receiving for dancing like that."